3 Jan Moore and declaring a vacancy.
Yes, Council. Councilmember Moore submitted her resignation on February the 7th. And due to, the reason for her resignation is due to family and medical reasons. The Texas Election Code states that the vacancy occurs the date the resignation is accepted by the council, which is the resolution that you have before you.
To further what Mary has said, if I may speak, Mayor Roxanne Pais Cotroneo, the city attorney. So Mary is correct, the city secretary is correct. The Texas Election Code, section 201.023, does say that when a vacancy is, or resignation is submitted, that the governing body either has to accept it or it becomes effective the 8th day after the city secretary has received it, whichever is earlier. It has not been 8 days. Today is actually would be the third day? The third day. And so we're asking the governing body to accept it. As soon as you accept that, it will become effective. There is a resolution in front of you saying that the resignation is accepted and you're declaring a vacancy. Once that occurs, then we'll move on to the next step of the process, which is talk about the process for filling the vacancy. So if I may step back and let you accept the resignation and declare the vacancy, then we can proceed to the next agenda item.
Well, I make a motion that we accept, in my part, regrets, the resignation of City Council Member, Place 3, Jan Moore, and declaring a vacancy.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, now we're gonna go to discuss, consider an act on the process for filling the city council member place 3 vacancy.
Mayor and city council members, according to our city charter, our electors told us exactly what they want us to do when there's a vacancy. In fact, in Article 3, Section 6 of our city charter, it says that when a vacancy occurs, for any reason, the remaining council members shall, within 30 days, appoint a qualified person to serve until the next general city election, when it shall be filled for the unexpired term. So, the person that you'd be choosing to run for this, to fill this unexpired term is somebody who's got to be qualified. We'll talk about those qualifications with the city secretary in just a minute. It is important to note that the filling of this unexpired term is a completely different process than the actual running for election for that office. Does that, anyone have any questions about that I'm saying? So if they're going to fill the office that's appointed by you, if the person who fills the office also wants to run for candidacy, they will need to also do that by a separate deadline.
The same deadline that we have for the general election, which is a 17th.
Very good question. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And I'm going to turn it now over to the city secretary to tell you what the qualifications are to be able to fill a vacancy that you currently have.
The qualifications that I'm going to read you have before you, and they're the same qualifications when you run for office. So it would also apply to someone who's going to be appointed to fill a vacancy. And that is that they must be a U.S. citizen. They must be 18 years of age at the time of the appointment. Must have not been determined by a final judgment of a court exercising probate jurisdiction to be totally mentally incapacitated or partially mentally incapacitated without the right to vote. Must have not been finally convicted of a felony from which the person has not been pardoned or otherwise released from the resulting disabilities. Must have resided continuously in this state for 12 months immediately preceding the appointment date. Must have been a resident of the city of Aransas past for a period not less than 1 year immediately preceding the date of appointment and shall be a qualified voter of the state. Must be registered to vote in the city of Aransas Pass. They must also maintain their residency throughout the term of the office, and they must file an application. And in this case, since we're appointing, we're asking that they also submit a letter of interest explaining why they're interested in being reappointed to fill this unexpired term.
To be appointed, okay.
Yes.
So while the charter tells allows is there's a vacancy and you, as council members, have to appoint within 30 days. There is no specific explanation on the process for reappointing, other than you're the ones who make the decision on the reappointment for the filling of the unexpired term. So we can also discuss with us now, council members, how you'd like to proceed in determining who should fill the unexpired term.
I personally don't think, and this is just my opinion, I don't think we should appoint anyone that has filed to run in this upcoming election. And I don't think we should accept an application until after the filing deadline. I feel that circumventing the voters' Aransas pass.
I don't understand that. Explain.
Yes. What do you mean by what you said?
Well, there's only been two applicants that have filed so far, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Okay, so can
Ram's
can you
not
explain-
running for that position.
So explain what you're, I didn't quite understand your,
Because I think we ought to wait till after the filing deadline, because
Because,
we can get more applicants, and everyone sitting up here knows someone that would be willing to sit in that seat for the next couple months, and then let the voters of Aransas Pass determine who sits in that seat.
well,
Well,
they'll
they're
be doing that already, because we're already gonna have a May election. So regardless of who, if we make a decision to appoint someone to that position, if they want the permanent position, they still have to apply
file.
to run for the May 6th election.
That's true.
There's two separate things.
Yeah.
No, that's true. But it's like you said, only two people have filed, and who's to say one of us can't run out and say, hey, go put an application, and then maybe we'll get enough support that we can appoint you. And then they can sit up there and get enough name recognition drawn up behind them and walk right in as a council member.
I don't understand your rationale behind, I know that what we're looking to do it is, we're going to open it up to
Mm-hmm.
the residents, to whoever wants to fill that vacancy until May. I don't know anyone off the top of my head. If you feel like I've already have a
Yeah.
candidate, I don't have anyone, I
Yeah.
don't know.
No, that's just my opinion on it.
And I feel like waiting, we really can't wait until, I
No, we
understand you
got-
want us to wait till after May, or?
No,
Oh,
not
okay.
after May, after next Friday.
Oh, well.
And I don't think we ought to jump in on this and say, well, let's put this date for this special election sometime next week.
We're not putting.
Well, even
a
if we
special-
wait till next Friday
Okay,
to see who, you want to see who files to run in May?
No,
Okay, so
I
what?
don't want to appoint someone that has filed for the election. That's my opinion on this.
well, I'm thinking you're discouraging individuals to apply to this position if they want to apply for it, and at the same time, they're considering running in May. So if we wait, if, way I understand, you want us to wait to see who has filed. For instance,
No.
if Joe Doe comes in and he wants to fill the position, but at the same time Joe Doe wants to run, what I'm understanding you is that we can't appoint, if Joe Doe applies to file for the May election, then you're telling me that we can't consider him or
Right.
her for this position because they've already filed, and I think that's not right.
Well, I respect your opinion.
But that's what you're saying, right? I want to make sure that I understood you correctly.
No, where my opinion stands, I do not want to appoint someone that is filed for the election. That's what it all comes down to.
Going back to what I'm thinking, that you're discouraged,
That's
you're,
exactly what you said.
yeah, that you're,
So so what you're saying is whoever we appoint
Okay.
or has the opportunity to be appointed, they can only be appointed
They can't
until
run.
May 6th, because you don't want them
To run.
You don't want them to run after May, on the May 6th election. That's exactly what you're saying.
I don't think that's right.
I think that, we're putting it out there to the public for them to come out and, put your application, and I don't think they ought to be penalized because you filled an application to fill the spot and not be able to run in the next election. I think that'd be very unfair. I think if you put an application and you get picked and you're on it, I think you still ought to be able to have the privilege to be able to run in the May election for a re-election. And maybe I understand what you're saying about, you're thinking that they're gonna have a lead already because they've been appointed to it, but it's really not. It's
You
just.
still have to go
we-
through the election process.
Yes, you still have to get re-elected. You're not gonna get that spot in May just because you got
Appointed.
appointed for these temporary time. Because right now, the most important thing is to get that vacancy filled, so when we have our next regular, council meeting, we have somebody sitting there, and we have, an agenda, and, which is what we have, and we need to make sure all our seats are filled, so we can continue with city business. That's the way I feel about it.
Also, look at it, we don't appoint anyone, you're looking for four.
Yeah,
It's always good to have an odd number, you
Yes.
know, 'cause
That's
we can
true.
have,
Yeah,
we have
yeah,
a
you're
two and a
right.
two, you know.
you're right, you're right.
It's like, okay,
Two
who's
and
gonna
two
break
ain't
the
working.
tie, we can't flip the
Yeah.
coin.
Yeah,
Like they do
Yeah.
in other cases. It doesn't work on flipping the coin on that part right there. I think personally, I don't know if what you've thought about as far as the dates, I'm thinking that,
Before you say that, do we need to go through the process first?
oh, yeah, the
Oh.
date's next.
well, the dates, that's what I'm thinking about, the dates.
But we haven't gone
Yeah.
through the process for filing.
Yes, that's the next step.
Isn't that what y'all were gonna discuss next?
Yes, that's the next one.
Oh, okay.
That's the next one, that's,
I
that's
think
number
I
three
think
right now.
I
Right
read
now,
them, they went together.
we're on two.
Thank you.
Right.
for
So, yeah,
correcting
if
me
you,
there.
if you agree with the process, then that's the action item that's before you.
Yeah, and the item is that we need to make up our mind to put, or say, you know what, we're gonna go out there and we're gonna seek applications. And that's what we're talking about right now. And then the next one is the timeline of the applicants, right?
Okay, okay.
So we're,
I make a motion that we, you know what?
Sorry, Mayor, I just wanna make sure that we understand that the application process that you're agreeing or appear to agree to want to do, that's not a legal requirement, but legally, you're only required to appoint somebody. It sounds like you wanna be open and minded and
Mhm.
fair in accepting applications to
Sure.
see who's interested.
Yeah, I think that's.
Well, yeah, I think that's the
I think that-
the
I think
most
that-
fair way to do that.
that's gooder.
As long as you understand that's not legally required to be done.
Right, we
Right,
could
right.
be giving names right now and voting on those names, right?
Yes.
But,
But I think we ought to give
Yes.
an opportunity for the citizens to come up and say, hey, I'd like a shot at it.
Yeah, this part I'm all for, the applications.
yes.
So do we have to vote on that, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I make a motion that we, accept applications, to fill the vacancy, on place 3.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Now we're gonna go to consider an act on selecting a date of appointment, a person to fill the city council place 3 vacancy.
Okay, now I
And
can
that's
speak
the
up.
timeline.
Now you can talk about
Now you
that.
can go through your timeline.
Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I was jumping ahead of time here. So looking at this, and I know that we have our next meeting, council meeting on the 20th, right? I think I'm looking at the right date here. Okay. I'm thinking, this is me, giving them, if we can have the, accept applications until Thursday, the 16th by noon. And that way, it gives our city secretary a time to review the ones that have come in, that they have met the criteria. And then for us to meet as a council probably on the 17th.
Friday, I won't be here.
Friday, you won't be here?
I won't be here, so we have to be, so if we could meet Thursday, I won't be here for Friday.
Okay.
My soon-to-be daughter-in-law is having her first bridal shower in Houston, so I gotta be there.
I understand, that's important.
How about we do it Monday during the regular meeting? That way we don't have to have a extra meeting.
The 20th.
Yes.
Yes, the 20th.
Yeah.
Yes.
That'd be like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that Monday?
Okay. Well, it's, I,
Or you could make it Wednesday as a deadline for applications and have your meeting on Thursday.
would you be here Thursday?
Yes,
Okay.
that will work for me.
I think,
That sounds good to me.
I think having it till, then the 15th at 5 o'clock
Yeah.
to accept applications till 5?
Well, does that give Mary time to, okay.
And then we have our meeting at noon, is that okay, or in the evening? Oh.
Doesn't matter to me, I'm good anytime.
Because
Ran?
I'm thinking that on the 16th, we have that event at the,
Oh, that's at 5:30.
At 5:30, yeah.
Okay. Mhm.
So can you be here at noon on Thursday? Is that what we agree on?
Me, probably not. Not at, no.
May, probably not? Okay.
No,
No.
not at noon.
Well,
Yeah.
if we do it at 5.
We're having,
How about
yeah.
at 5?
Yeah, 'cause we're having too many meetings at noon and I gotta work for a living. It's hard taking off.
Okay, too many meetings at noon,
Yeah.
okay.
So can you be here at 5?
Yeah, I can be here at
Because the
5.
community event starts at 5:30.
5:30, we'll be there.
And it won't take us 5 or 10 minutes.
It just depends on who we gotta go through the process.
Oh, okay.
Because we'll have to look through the applicants.
Oh, that's right, okay,
Yeah, so
okay.
You might be referring that they might be just one, but probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we ought to give it more time. That way we get more applications turned in. That's a short window to think that we're gonna have 500 people turn in applications by next week.
We're not gonna have
500.
500 people. I'm just thinking that if we need someone on board by the 20th for our council meeting.
We don't. We have a majority sitting here right now. We don't.
We have 4, but for voting. If there's 2 against and 2 for, then that motion fails because of that.
There-
You see what I mean?
Yeah, there is a,
Unless we just cancel our meeting on the 20th.
We've been in this predicament, I don't know how many times since I've been elected up here,
What's that?
that we've had somebody miss. I've missed, Carrie's missed, you've missed, Jan's missed, Ram's missed. This isn't anything new that's popped up. I think doing it the right and fair way is to give people enough time to be, the word's not gonna get out in 5 minutes after we leave the meeting. I think we need to give a little more time. That's my opinion. It's up to us as elected officials to do the right thing for the citizens of Aransas Pass. And
Well,
I think
And
giving
then
them a
you're
little
saying
more,
Vote on it on Monday night, on a regular meeting.
I mean, that's my meet in the middle is give it, because I can tell right now, I'm not gonna get any more time. So I'd say if we got that extra 4 days, and that's
well,
extra
I
4
think
days.
people that are interested in the city government and the city happenings are take it upon themselves to keep up with everything that's going on. So if someone is that interested in what's happening with the city, then they will be, and plus, I'm sure we'll put it out on
We're gonna put it out.
city Facebook, city website, and it'll be shared a bajillion times on social media.
Hearing what you're saying, we have to look at that.
And plus, people are probably logged in, hearing it already. 'cause
Everybody's
it's
already
like-
in tune with the election coming up. I mean, that's obvious,
Getting calls on it.
yes.
This is me, I make a motion that we accept applications till the 15th at 5 o'clock. And then meet on Thursday at 5 to go over to review the applicants and make a decision to appoint the person that we select, the majority selects, or we select to fill the position. That's just my motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Are you in favor?
Mayor, your vote
Oh,
was?
you vote,
Aye.
Bram?
Yeah, said aye.
Aye, okay, I didn't hear you.
I didn't say it.
Oh, you didn't say it? I'm sorry.
No, but I'm okay.
Okay, you're right.
I'm okay. Okay.
Well, I'll make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?